What's going on, guys? My name is Multi-Fay here, and today we're going to talk about what if Tanjiro learned steam breathing. I hope you guys enjoy. Start this story off in the snowy mountains in which Tanjiro lived. Tanjiro ran down the mountains with coal in a basket as he would comment how cold it is. Tanjiro would run past a man saying good morning. This man's name was Joki, no last name known. Tanjiro would help the villagers in pretty much everyday problems as he'd run up saying goodbye to Joki again as the man would simply wave. Tanjiro ran up and greeted his entire family as they hugged him gladly, stating that Big Brother Tanjiro was back. Tanjiro would help with household chores and then would get settled in with his ordinary life and his day-to-day tasks. He'd say hello to Nezuko as Nezuko would say hello back, and she would comment that their youngest brother has been feeling sick lately. Tanjiro would state that tomorrow he'll run down, sell some coal, and then buy medicine for the younger brother. As the next day, Tanjiro grabbed coal and ran down, remembering about the medicine. Although his youngest brother asked if they can join, Tanjiro would comment that he isn't big enough to withstand not only the cold, but the long journey back down and up, and he doesn't want to carry him again. As he would slightly smile in a joking tone, as the little brother would state that he's big and strong. As Tanjiro would state, if he's so big and strong, he would give the younger brother an axe. As he would then state that he wants him to chop down some wood because he wants to sell it tomorrow. Tanjiro runs down, sells the coal, and gets the medicine, but by that time it was night. As the old man would look at Tanjiro, boy, wait there. As Tanjiro would stop, as he would comment that he has to get back up. His younger brother's been feeling sick lately and that he needs the medicine. The man would point a figure making a motioning wave. Sorry, I'm sick. A motioning wave to come closer, as the man would state, "Do you know of demons?" As Tanjiro would chuckle, "That's an old folklore joke, I mean, you gotta be joking, right?" As the man would state, "I used to be a demon slayer in my prime. These creatures would come out at night and eat anyone who was still out. You must not go up the mountain." As Tanjiro would state that if that is true, then he needs to go up and protect his family. As the man would look at the mark on Tanjiro's forehead, "As long as your family is in a proper hut, I'm pretty sure they should be fine. What's more important is that you survive. I promised your father I'd protect you." As Tanjiro would enter Joki's house, he would sleep and the next morning would go back up. Tanjiro would run up the mountain as he smelled blood. The closer and closer he got, he would then see the scene. Nezuko was protecting the youngest child as blood was all over her. Tanjiro walked closer and he saw the young brother with the axe, with his arm severed off and the axe in the wall. Tanjiro walked close to the younger brother as he would see that his mother was pretty much mutilated and his younger sister was decapitated. Blood was all over the hut. Tanjiro began to pant. No, 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 as he then heard breathing. Tanjiro looked behind him. Nezuko. As he walked closer to Nezuko, he realized she was alive. He picked her up and began to run down the mountain. "It's okay," as Tanjiro would trip almost and then see the medicine that came out of his pocket. Tanjiro stood up and began to break down. "I should have won. I should have won." As Nezuko would begin to move. Nezuko, you are. Nezuko's eyes were blank and she had sharp, fang-like teeth. She bit into Tanjiro's shoulder, and Tanjiro jumped off the mountain into a ravine. Nezuko was knocked off Tanjiro as Nezuko would get up and run at Tanjiro. Tanjiro would tell Nezuko to calm down. Nezuko would pin Tanjiro to the wall as she would try and eat Tanjiro again. Tanjiro used his strength and was able to overpower Nezuko for a second, but Nezuko simply used Tanjiro's emotion against him and threw him to a nearby tree. Tanjiro didn't have his axe this time, so all he could do was try and run away. Nezuko snapped out of it. As Nezuko would try and slash at Tanjiro, she would then see that her own arm was cut off, and a man with dead-like eyes did it. Hey, calm down, that's my sister. As the man would turn around, that's not your sister, that's a demon. As Tanjiro would remember, Choki said something about that. A demon. Listen, even then, she hasn't eaten anyone yet. As he would then look at Tanjiro's shoulder. That looks like a bite mark. I've been watching, so don't try and lie. Tanjiro realized that he really can't get out of this. He steps in front of Nezuko. I won't let you eat my... As Nezuko would bite into Tanjiro's arms, as she would then try and eat him. As Tanjiro would then tell Nezuko to snap out of it, the man tried to decapitate Nezuko. Tanjiro kicked Nezuko's ribcage to move her to the side, and then the man cut a bit of Tanjiro's hair off. The man missed. Move out of my way. Isn't it clear enough she's trying to kill you? No, she's just... As Nezuko would bite into Tanjiro's arm, he'd scream in agonizing pain. Nezuko would kick Tanjiro off him into a nearby tree again. And Tanjiro would be bleeding out rapidly, as Nezuko would then try and charge at Tanjiro again, but Gyo would then say, water breathing, first form, water surface slash, as he would then cut off Nezuko's head. Tanjiro would begin to cry. That was the last of my family. They're all dead. They're all dead. As the man with dead eyes would tell Tanjiro, in this world, demons take from people, and I am the one here to take from demons. I'm sorry, kid. As he would then sheath his sword. If you want to do something about it, how about you go find out where the Demon Slayer Corp is? Final selection happens in 2 years. You would give Tanjiro a paper where the final selection is taking place, and then it would disappear. Tanjiro would walk down the mountain with cold, dead eyes. The last of his family is gone. Joki would look at Tanjiro as he would see the bite marks. Joki would tell Tanjiro to wait. As he patched up Tanjiro, Tanjiro would whisper, "You were right." Joki would hear, "I know. If you knew, then why didn't you?" As Joki would comment, "I'm way past my prime. If I became a demon or worse, died, I wouldn't have done anything." As Tanjiro would state, "Then why save me?" Joki would comment, "There is a demon, far powerful, far more powerful than me or any other human in this world. His name is Muzan Kibutsuchi. I was able to gather information that he was coming this way, but there wasn't really much I could do about it. If I lured your family into the village, he would have slaughtered everybody. But all I wanted to do was at least protect you. That's what I promised your father years ago." As Tanjiro would ask about demon slayers and how they fight demons, the man would explain. Demon slayers use a swordsman technique called total concentration breathing. They use this to make styles of swordsman techniques: wind, water, earth, and lightning. But there are also subcategories like mist, love, and even steam. I am one of these holders. I am the previous Steam Hashira, pillars, the best of the best. And even though I'm far past my prime, I can still help you. Tanjiro would look at Joki. Teach me steam breathing then, please. Joki would then explain the fundamentals of steam breathing. There are 5 forms, although the 5th form is the most dangerous. If I teach you, you will inherit steam breathing and become the 17th steam breather. Do you understand? Tanjiro would nod his head. Yes. He would then explain, steam breathing is a mix of water and flame breathing. Water breathing being the most fundamental breathing style ever. Like I said, the 5th form is for last resorts only. Do you understand? Tanjiro would ask why, as he would then explain, out of the 17 users, including Tanjiro, 8 have died. As Tanjiro would then look down, I understand. As she would then explain all 5 forms. But to save time, I will explain the 5 forms right here and now with you. Steam breathing, first form, kettle shot. The user jabs with their sword at great speed. The user would also imagine that their sword is steam shooting out of the kettle. Steam breathing, second form, steam flux. This requires the user to attack at a continuous and flowing pattern. The user would imagine that their sword is emitting steam. Steam breathing, third form, steam train. The user would burst forward and use a horizontal slash at a demon's waist. This plus the speed is a way to keep the demon on the blade like a fishhook. Steam breathing, fourth form, water vapor slash. At great speed, the user would horizontally slash, but it would be revealed to be a fake out and the user would vertically slash. And finally, the most dangerous form of steam breathing, 5th form, steam firebox. The user would increase their own body temperature. This would increase their speed, power, and disorientates the demon because of the steam producing off their bodies. However, if they're in this form for too long, their body would burn away from all the water and dehydrate itself. The only way to get out of it is either to be knocked out or control their breathing. Tanjiro, it would take around a year for Tanjiro to get the fundamentals of even using a sword, and another year to learn all 5 forms of steam breathing. Tanjiro would be sent off to final selection. However, Joki would give Tanjiro his own first sword. This was Joki's first sword, as he did switch out swords throughout his career. Tanjiro would also be given a Hori that is gray. Tanjiro would enter final selection as he'd realize that there are quite a few number of people here, around 20. 2 girls would walk out, one with white hair and one with charcoal black. Tanjiro would comment about the girls as they seemed too young to be in the demon circle. The girls would explain that the final selection would be an exam of some sort that would take place over 7 days and 7 nights. On the 8th day, they can come out, and thus the survivors will be deemed demon slayers, and thus will be given their rankings and a sword. Tanjiro would comment about how gruesome this whole job seems, as they all enter the woods on their own direction, stating that the only thing keeping the demons from attacking this spot is the wisteria trees. Tanjiro would enter the forest on the first day. The first day was calm, since it was the day demons didn't attack them. Most demons hid in the shadow of leaves, but they were all scared to come out at risk of burning. Tanjiro would realize that on days he should sleep and on nights he should be alert, trying to adjust his sleeping schedule. The first night was also fairly easy. Low father demons would attack Tanjiro, but Tanjiro wouldn't even need to use steam breathing, as he would simply just cut off their heads. The second day was a little bit rough. Tanjiro was tired and tried to find a place to sleep. Luckily, there was an opening with a lot of sun. Tanjiro would sleep and thus wake up at the night. Tanjiro's second day was a little bit harder as he came across the giant hand demon. He would hear the demon's conversation with one of the other demon slayers. No, no, please don't eat me! As the demon slayer's head was crushed. Such a shame, such a shame. Although this is a net snack, none of Orokudaki's students came this year. Maybe the old fart finally caught my message. As Tanjiro would comment about the name Orokudaki, he's remembered that name. Joki has talked about him, but all he knows about Orokudaki is that he's a former water pillar. But the notion that most of his students are dead does sadden Tanjiro. Tanjiro sees another demon slayer being attacked by the hand demon and thus saves him. As he would yell, steam breathing, first form, kettle shot. Like a rifle, the hand would burst through with the pressure of the jab. As the hand demon would laugh. Oh, isn't this lovely? Two nice snacks for me to enjoy. As the demon would ask Tanjiro, say, what era is it? As Tanjiro would then state that this is the Taisho period. As the hand demon would get angry. Taisho period? We've entered another era? Damn you, Orokudaki! Damn you! As the demon slayer would comment, that's impossible. Most demons die every year in selection. As the demon pointed his neck, do you see this thick coating? No one's been able to slice through this, and I mean no one. I find it sad that every single student that ever goes into this forest eventually becomes my snack. As he begins to pound on the ground. However, I am angered. It's a new period, a new era. Tanjiro would look at the demon, as he would then state, yeah, and it's your end. As the demon slayer would tug on Tanjiro, we need to run away. As the demon slayer would run away, the hand would grab the demon slayer and rip off his torso. Tanjiro would yell, you bastard! As the hand demon would eat the demon slayer in front of Tanjiro. Well, a snack tried running away. What would you do? How about you make it easy for yourself and just kill yourself, huh? Use the sword properly and commit Sudoku. I meant seppuku. I said Sudoku, I read that fucking wrong. And commit seppuku. As the hand demon would charge at Tanjiro with a bunch of hands, Tanjiro would control his breathing. Steam breathing, second form, steam flux. As the hands would begin to chop off, as Tanjiro would do a continuous fluid motion to get closer, I need to find a way to cut off his head. I have an idea. As he got closer, he controlled his breathing one more time. Steam breathing, third form, steam train. As he did this, he burst forward, trying to cut the neck of the hand demon. But it simply wouldn't work, as the hand demon would punch Tanjiro to a nearby tree. Do you really think a weakling like you could cut my neck? My neck? Sure, I had to trap me in here. Who do you think you are? All I know is that you're gonna be my midnight snack. I'm so hungry. They do say gluttony is a sin. As Tanjiro would get back up, as Tanjiro would notice something, he's visualizing a string. I could smell his weak spot. That's where most of the blood weakens. His arms. He's using too much energy to keep the arms tight and strong on his neck. If I make him feel so much pain, maybe he'll be distracted. As Tanjiro would then state, well, if I can't cut your neck, there is a good big spot I can cut at. The demon would question, and where is that, boy? As Tanjiro would charge at the demon, as he would then yell, steam breathing, third form, steam train. as he would hit the demon's waist and cut it open. Tanjiro would then continuously slash into the demon's gut, trapping himself inside of the stomach. The demon would state, "Whoa, did you not know demons can heal?" As the opening in the stomach healed through, the demon would comment how stupid Tanjiro was. "Well, I guess they're gonna get into my stomach one way or I think he'd feel agonizing pain. Tanjiro's still alive, and he's cutting through the demon from the inside. As he's cutting from the inside out, he continuously does this. The demon is feeling a tremendous pain, trying to punch himself in the gut to chill Tanjiro. Tanjiro eventually comes out through one of the openings and then slashes at the demon's neck, cutting the head off. Tanjiro would be covered in demon blood. As Tanjiro would be panting. "Yeah, thick neck, alright. Even thicker gut, fat ass." I'm sorry, I made Tanjiro a dick. But yeah, Tanjiro with cold dead eyes would look at the demon as the demon began to cry that he lost to a kid that's not even Ashura. He would then remember his brother, and Tanjiro picked up a scent of remorse and sadness. He praised the demon if he reincarnates, he would reincarnate as a good person and live a fruitful life. But it was sad that he was a demon in this one. Tanjiro would then continue on to the next day. The third day, all of the blood from the demon was burnt off Tanjiro's body, yet he didn't feel a thing. And from then on, the demon slayer the final selection was a breeze, although at a few moments, Tanjiro was able to run into a lot of demon slayers and even heard a giant laughter from the demon from one of the woods. After final selection, Tanjiro realized that out of the 20, only 4 was able to survive, although secretly 5 survived. Tanjiro picked his oar and was off on his day. After 2 weeks, Tanjiro was able to get his sword, and Tanjiro's sword turned to jet black. Joki commented that black is actually extremely rare. However, I'm fucking shitty. However, the man who made Tanjiro's sword is extremely angered as he wanted to see Tanjiro's sword turn bright red. A crow would appear out of nowhere as he then states, "North, go north. A demon's been kidnapping girls in their sleep in a random village. North, go north." As Tanjiro would continue his journey, he would then run across a village. This village had a scent of despair, as he would then see a man stumbling. At first, he thought the man was drunk, but then he would realize the man was sad. Tanjiro would overhear a random conversation. "That guy's wife, he disappeared, right?" "Yeah," and the wife's dad was so mad. He even kicked them out the house, disowned them and beat them. He had said that he was set up for execution. They believe it was him. That's so sad. Tanjiro would run to the guy and ask about what happened to his wife. The guy would state that his wife just disappeared as they were walking home. As Tanjiro asked about where the wife disappeared at, Tanjiro would spend all day trying to track down the demon. As he picked up a scent, Tanjiro eventually came across the spot where the scent is, as he would then state, "Sea breathing, first form, kettle shot." The ground would burst open as 3 demons came out. One demon grinded his teeth, and the other one stated, "What are they doing here? They weren't supposed to come here." As Tanjiro would ask what the demons are doing and why they're kidnapping only females, as the demon would state, "You're interrupting. They lose their rightness at 13. I'm sorry, these demons get fucking pedo vibes. But the demons do explain that, yeah, the girls' tastefulness, they're rightness. Fuck God. Tanjiro calls the demons disgusting, as the demons would state that Tanjiro just wouldn't understand. Now, in this version, Tanjiro does not have Nezuko, and he is still protecting one person because the girl kind of died. So Tanjiro would state that basically he's here to kill all 3 demons, as the man would open up his mouth. my wife, the wife you stole a few nights ago, where is she? The man would, one of the demons would open up his coat. Is her bow here? If she is, then we already ate her. As the man would see the bright red bow. No, the red one, that's hers, give it back! As the demon would pretty much laugh. It wouldn't matter. I mean, I don't prefer men, but I gladly would eat and or kill you right now. As Tanjiro would state that he's gonna do neither, as Tanjiro would yell, steam breathing, second form, steam flux, to try and get all three at once. However, two of them dodged. She was only able to kill one. One of them lost their leg, and the other one lost her arm. But the two that survived grew their arms back. Sorry, I'm sick. If you could tell already. But the demons would state that it is just not fair. All the girls lose rapeness at the ripe old age of 13. Jesus Christ. They're funny though. Tanjiro would continue on his battle as the demons would pull Tanjiro into the ground, but Tanjiro would state that in order to live, he's going to have to be able to create some sort of air pocket. As he then realized, the man stated that the fifth form is only used for emergencies only, and this seemed like an emergency. He breathed in as much oxygen as he could, as he would then state, fifth form, steam fire box. He'd increase his body temperature, and the water, or kind of like fog around him, was pretty much getting evaporated at a rapid rate in order for him to consume more oxygen. He then yelled, steam breathing, first form, steam kettle shot, as he then jabbed at a great speed as a way to release himself from the bog. As the man was almost about to get eaten by one of the demons, Tanjiro yelled water vapor slash as the demon would block, but then be debated and got cut directly in half. He would then state steam flux as he chopped the demon's head off. And as another demon was coming for Tanjiro, Tanjiro chopped his waist, and Tanjiro pinned the demon to the wall. As Tanjiro would state, "Tell me about Muzan Kibatsuchi." The demon would cry, I can't, you just let me go. Tanjiro would begin to get more angry as the steam firebox was released, but it's almost like it never left. The demon would comment how warm Tanjiro is, as Tanjiro would ask again, where is Muzan Kibutsuchi? What is he doing? Why is he doing it? And where the hell is he? As the demon would state that he just can't tell him. The demon would try to run away, but Tanjiro would just cut off the demon's head. Tanjiro would state that he doesn't know which one is hers, but he was able to cut off the demon's ribbons, and he got back. The demon slayer, the boy grabbed one of the giant red bows and stated that this one was hers. But Tanjiro would tell the man to try and move on, even though it would be hard. The man would ask Tanjiro what he knows about moving on in life, but Tanjiro simply grabs the man's hand and looks at him gently with a smile and walks off. The man notices how Tanjiro's hand was rough, even as young as he was. The man would apologize for what he said as Tanjiro kept on moving, as the crow would state, craw, craw, craw. Sorry. He tells him that Tanjiro needs to head to Tokyo, and that there are demons spotted there. Tanjiro heads there, and of course, when he gets there, he smells a scent. The scent of his house. He runs towards the scent, and he meets the man, Michael fucking Jackson. He looks back, and Tanjiro has anger in his eyes, as Tanjiro would ask, "Are you Muzan Kibutsuchi?" The man would turn around. "Excuse me, do I know you?" As the woman would ask if her husband's gonna take too long with this conversation, and if this young man knew him, as the child would ask if her dad knew him too. As Tanjiro would be surprised. There's a kid and a wife, he can't do anything about this. The man would simply state that he has no business with this boy and doesn't even know who he is. The boy would apologize. Tanjiro apologizes for his interruptions and thought that this man was somebody else, even though in Tanjiro's mind he knew this man was King Musa. Musa walked away, scratched the dude's neck, and the dude attacked his wife. Tanjiro wrapped the man's oh fuck. Sorry, I'm sick. Sorry. Tanjiro would get a piece of cloth and wrapped it around the man's mouth to try and help him. But the police subdued Tanjiro, even though Tanjiro was trying to help the situation. But the police would fall over due to a scent that they smelt. Lady Tamiyo will reveal herself as she would ask Tanjiro to come with her, as Tanjiro would meet Lady Tamiyo. She was a demon, and even meet her assistant, who I actually forgot the name. So just gonna call him assistant because I'm doing this based off memory. Sorry. But basically the assistant is a big simp, which everybody gets the gist of. They talk for a bit, but Muzan does send demons after Tanjiro and Tamayo, and Tanjiro actually smells the scent of rubber coming this way. Tanjiro but then noticed a ball bursting from the door as he would move at rapid succession, but Tanjiro would simply state, steam breathing, second form, steam flux, as he'd cut the ball in half. Tanjiro then noticed the smell of rubber again, as he'd state, steam breathing, first form, cuddle shot, as he'd stop the ball perfectly in its tracks. Tanjiro would notice that the ball was moving on its own, and Tanjiro would unsheath the ball from its sword from the ball, Tanjiro would ask who they are, as he'd see a girl with balls and a guy who's blind. As the girl would state if Tanjiro is who he is, and Tanjiro states that he is. But the assistant does give Tanjiro the ability to see the arrows because this blood demon was invisible. Tanjiro fights both the girl with balls and the guy with arrows at the same time. And honestly, it's actually a lot easier in the original because I hate everything. So the girl with balls throws balls, but Tanjiro can see the arrows, and Tanjiro simply uses steam breathing, third form, steam train to try and bypass, and he would eventually cut the girl's neck off. Yes, I'm killing her early. The guy with direction starts mixing up Tanjiro, but Tanjiro would use first form cuddle shot to brace himself on the ground, and then he would use third form steam train to close the distance, and he would eventually use fourth form to bait out the dude and cut him in half, and then he would use steam train again and cutting off the guy's head. Yeah, this fight actually ends off a lot sooner than expected. Tomio would thank Tanjiro for protecting her, and Tanjiro would state that if Tomio needs anything, he is always a Kokai Crow away. But the crow does comment that Tanjiro actually needs to go to a mansion, a Suzumi mansion, and basically the kids are missing. And Tanjiro, on his way to the mansion, meets Zenitsu Agatsuma. I'm sorry, I said that name fucking wrong. When he meets Zenitsu, his first thought that is Zenitsu is kind of weird, but eventually Zenitsu does tag him out. While this happens, Tanjiro meets two kids, and the kids state that their brother went in but never came back out, and that they just want their brother back. Tanjiro tells the kids to stay here as he will retrieve the brother, as a man gets flung out of the mansion and he dies. Tanjiro asks if the man is their brother, but the kids would state that no, that is a different person, as Tanjiro promised that whatever happened to that man will not happen to their brother. Tanjiro brings Zenitsu to the mansion, and of course they get separated. Tanjiro does eventually, after killing a few demons, meet up with the main villain, a former member of the 12 Kizuki. His name was Kyogai. And he had the ability to not only teleport from room to room, but even rotate it, change the gravity, and disperse giant slashes. Tanjiro would begin to fight Kyogai, and although the battle was very tedious, Tanjiro was able to kind of learn Kyogai's pattern. Tanjiro used a mix of Form 5 and Form 3, using Form 5 to increase his speed, and Form 3 to kind of just burst through room to room to room to room to throw off Kyogai. And basically, Kyogai is and Tanjiro are kind of just like being flung throughout the mansion as Kyogai would teleport constantly, but Tanjiro would constantly just keep sending him to room to room to room. Eventually, Zenitsu does meet up with Inosuke and gets scared and runs away, but then meets another demon. He would eventually fall asleep, cook, and kill the demon. Inosuke is trying to find out where this strong demon is as Kyogai, eventually breaks off of Tanjiro's hold, and then Inosuke, and I'm sorry for the bad impersonation, Inosuke runs in as he yells, the Lord of Mountains is coming through, as he would then try and rip and tear at Kyogai. But Kyogai would simply teleport to a different room as he would begin to catch his breath. Tanjiro would walk throughout the mansion and eventually would find the older brother that they were looking for and even finds Zenitsu asleep. Tanjiro carries Zenitsu and grabs the little kid, but is trying to find a way out. Eventually, the Kyogai finds Tanjiro and separates everybody again, but Tanjiro states that this is the last time, as he tells the kid that everything's going to be okay. Tanjiro fights Kyogai one last time and eventually kills Kyogai. This would reset the Blood Demon arc and thus making the mansion normal as it should have been. Tanjiro, Inosuke, Zenitsu, and the older brother walk out, and the crow comes down and explains that the little older brother had a special blood, and basically that's why the demon wanted it, because it makes demons intoxicated. Eventually, their next mission is stated that they need to go up into the mountains, but before they do that, they must go into a hut and basically heal up first. They do, and Tanjiro actually gets introduced to everybody. Zenitsu, Agatsuma, and Inosuke Hashibira, and Tanjiro would introduce himself as Tanjiro Kamado. They would talk about their breathing styles, as Tanjiro states that his is steam breathing, although Zenitsu's never heard of it. Inosuke states that his is beast breathing, and again, Zenitsu's never heard of it, as he states that his is thunder breathing, as Tanjiro would state that thunder breathing is one of the main 5 forms, right? And Zenitsu would pretty much accept. Eventually, they do go to Mount Natagumo. I'm sorry if I butchered that name, by the way. Mount Natagumo is a mountain where demon slayers come in, but they never come back out, as Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu walk in. Zenitsu in the original does not come in, but comes in because of Nezuko. But in this one, Tanjiro's more stone cold and less remorseful about people's feelings, and he practically grabs Zenitsu and says, "Listen, it's your job. We have to do this. If you want to get paid, do the work. Let's go." As Zenitsu walks in. But because of this, they never actually get split up and they're all on the same path. They eventually meet up with Murata, as Murata explains that all of a sudden, all the demon slayers, their bones started breaking, their flesh started tearing. It was a horrible sound, and basically they started fighting each other and killing each other. But even after they were dead, they kept on fighting, and he doesn't know what's going on. As the demon slayers would comment that, "Please save them from this hell. It sucks. They want to die." And Tanjiro pretty much is like, "Okay, we have to find a way to help them." He eventually realizes that there is string attached to their limbs and begins to cut them off, but then the string reattaches. Tanjiro thinks of an idea, just pretty much just throw them over a tree branch, but then all of a sudden, all of their necks start snapping. This pisses off Tanjiro, and I'm talking even more than the original. His body begins to heat up, his heart begins to pound so loud that it's even audible to normal ears. Tanjiro would then state that this demon is irredeemable, as he would then look up as a child would be on strings, as he would point towards the demon slayer as he says, "My mom's gonna kick your ass," as he would then just walk away. Inosuke stabs the ground and uses one of his fangs in order to snuff out where the mom is, and they run in that direction with Zenitsu. Murata is still fending for himself. They eventually come across a demon with his no neck. I'm talking straight up. And Inosuke is kind of scared as this demon is basically fighting pretty much for his life. But luckily, Zenitsu, Inosuke, and Tanjiro were all able to come together and straight up cook and defeat the demon, and they continue on their path. However, the closer and closer they got, Zenitsu realized a sound as he tells everybody to back up as the father spider comes out and starts scrapping hands. Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu all try and fight the father demon. However, Inosuke states that the mother demon is right there, and he throws Tanjiro, I'm talking chucks that man towards the mother demon, and Inosuke and Zenitsu start cooking. Now, unlike in the original, when it was a 1v1, Inosuke head still gets crushed, but Zenitsu does pass out and does thunder breathing, first form, thunder carbon flash, sixfold, and starts cutting off the limbs of the father demon, aiming for the head. However, the head is missed as the father demon sheds its skin, pretty much fucking leveling up, and beats the fuck out of Zenitsu, but he isn't dead yet. Around this point, Tanjiro does meet up with the mother demon and does use first form cuddle shot as he is extremely pissed. He kills the mother demon, as the mother demon would state that one of the 12 Kizuki are here, as Tanjiro would state that he needs to go find it. He does smell a scent of high Muzan blood as he would walk towards it, and he meets one of the 12 Kizuki, the small boy from earlier, as he is abusing his sister. Tanjiro would look at the boy. How could you do that to your own family? It's people like you that piss me off. As Tanjiro raises his katana. Rui would introduce himself as one of the 12 Kizuki, more specifically Lower Moon 6. Tanjiro would again still raise his katana as he would state, "Listen, I'm not playing these games anymore. You and me are fighting right now." As Rui would state that Tanjiro doesn't know anything about family, as the sister would run off. As Rui would look at Tanjiro and sees Hanafuda earrings. Sensei Muzan said something about a person with Hanafuda earrings. That could be you. And then, in that case, he'll allow me to grow my family even more. I must kill you now. And thus, we begin Tanjiro versus Rui. It doesn't really go as it would be in the original. Tanjiro charges at Rui with Steam Train, and Rui just defends himself with String. And basically, it would be Tanjiro versus Rui String for a while, as Tanjiro was knocked back into a nearby tree. We do cut to Inosuke and Zenitsu being saved by Giyu, as Inosuke would look at the water Hashira. Eventually, Tanjiro would have to charge at Rui again, but this time he would use Steam Flux to try and cut all of the strings, but Rui would activate his blood demon art and Tanjiro would be trapped. He would then remember about a dance that he did every single year, and then he would use Hinokami. However, this was different. He was mixing Hinokami Kagura with his steam breathing, and he didn't know what to call it. So all he could call it was scorch breathing. He would then state scorch breathing, third form, steam train, as he burst towards Rui and cuts off his head. Unlike in the original, where Rui cut off his head beforehand, Tanjiro was too fast, and he actually was able to succeed the first time. Giyu would meet up with Tanjiro and see how far he'd grown. Its Giyu would then state, steam breathing, huh? Jokey, is that your teacher? As Tanjiro's dead eyes looked at Giyu. I want to say Gyome so much because I'm waiting for it. Sorry. Giyu would kind of get excited about Jokey, as Jokey and Giyu were actual friends. Even though, Jokey was actually older than Giyu. As Tanjiro fell asleep, he does not meet up with the Hashira, as he was not actually traveling with a demon. However, he is a student of a pillar, and thus does go to the Butterfly Mansion. At the Butterfly Mansion, they do training to try and get them back into shape, the rehabilitation training. And during this, they do learn total concentration, breathing constant, and they also do. And Tanjiro does go up to Kana and basically like resets her whole brain, I guess. He tells her to follow her heart. She gets a little crush, and they're all told to head to the Mugen train. And thus, we are ending season 1 of Demon Slayer. What if Tanjiro had steam breathing? Again, 5 likes, and you'll get season 2, which consists of the Mugen train arc and the Entertainment District arc. And maybe when the Swordsman Village arc gets released, I'll do that. And depending on whether or not the Swordsman's Village arc consists of the Hashira training arc, which I'm pretty sure it would. I don't see why they wouldn't. So yeah. Thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next part. Bye bye.